Hello, guys. We are live, and Chris is just opening up his can of Rockstar again. I've got a beer.
Hey,
I'm expecting Chris. Cheers, yeah. I'm expecting Chris to deliver some epic knowledge bombs today. It's good to see so many of you are already here. D-Rav, Dijid, the Moroccan, the Algerian Canadian, actually, I'm going to call him that. So there's a lot of different people here some people have already put questions in. One thing I do want to start with is before we go into anything at all, Black Hat SEO is not always about getting caught and getting, spamming the shit out of everything. It's just about doing things right. And I've seen people in the group mention, should I be doing this? Is it going to be dangerous for my website? I've also heard other people saying other silly things. Anything here that we're mentioning, you don't have to implement. It's just open your eyes, see what other people are doing, and you might be able to take a little bit from, some of the stuff that's mentioned. But no one's saying that you have to go down the route of spamming the shit out of anything and getting yourself banned. Also, on that note, we're not also going to share private PBNs and stuff. The reason being that PBNs are private, and someone gets a hold of it, doesn't like your face, report it to Google, you're stuffed. So we can give you the concept and tell you what works, but we have to be very careful with what we're saying. But
people's people's profiles on my yeah. I like my site, or other sites I operate. So I'm, I don't want to give up anybody's stuff, especially those guys. So
yeah, no, it's we've got a fair whack of people watching now, which is all good. Craig Mullins is there, just letting a few more people come in before we get in about the questions. But guys, we are going to be, what we felt with the last topic was it was very generic. So this particular show is going to be about link building, and then we can come back, we can talk about something else, the following week or whatever it may be. But we want to try and condense it down to offer value to you guys. And obviously, Chris has got amazing stories here, in terms of Black Hat stuff, and thinks in a weird and wonderful way. So we want to get as much as we can out of the link building side from Chris. He's not going anywhere, so he can come back, or you can join his own YouTube channel as well, where he's releasing stuff all the time. So get over there and subscribe. But we're going to go into the questions just now. But before we do, just make sure you give this video a little like and subscribe if you haven't already, guys. And yeah, it will be good. Good to see you, Lewis. So we're going to just get stuck right into the questions.
Are you going to, I'm sorry, Craig, are you going to flash them across like last time?
I will flash them across.
That was cool. I like this little StreamYard deal. It's awesome. I saw Frank Kern talking about this. It's a good little platform.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah, all good. So SP questions: how to create a correct PBN, meaning how to pass juice to the money site without having a PBN exposed to Google, Ahrefs, SEMrush, and more. Do we want to answer that one? It's a bit of a long-winded question.
It's very long, but I mean, there's multiple ways to hide your PBN. And I mean, that's a very long question, right? Yeah. I mean, you could pass them. I mean, one way which I have shared publicly is you can always build out and use canonical to pass the juice. So, I mean, I don't know how I would go about answering that for you.
I mean, I think in terms of PBNs, you can block the Ahrefs and SEMrush bot coming to it. If you Google something like how to hide your backlinks, you'll be able to see, I've got a guide on there which shows you exactly what to put and where.
Would you?
Would I? Probably not, because the reason I'm going to say, right, so you can do that now. That's to answer that guy's question. However, if a real PBN, if you're doing the job properly, make it an affiliate website. Why do you want to hide it? Why don't you want it exposed to Google? You know, most of the PBNs I've got are also doubled up as like Amazon affiliate websites or informational websites. They serve a purpose for me. And if you don't, if every single PBN you have does not make you money, you're not doing it right. That's what I would say. There's no need to hide the bots unless you know, are trying to, you know, don't show your competition what you're doing or whatever, and maybe, you know, hide the bots to some of the stuff in there. Fine, but I would say that that's also a footprint in itself, where potentially hiding a whole bunch of bots to a whole bunch of websites is going to get you into bother as well. But also, I do have a guide on my website, which I'll put the link in the chat. Private blog network.
Yeah, I personally, I mean, I don't build out PBNs personally. Like I'd rather pay, you know, because managing all that, like, not for me.
Well, yeah, one thing I would say is the cost of building a PBN is going to be around $300-400 by the time you get a guy to throw a template up, hosting, buying the domain name and everything else. You can actually buy a link on a PBN for $50 to $100. So you've also then got the maintenance of that PBN, you know, update the plugins and all that kind of stuff. So
content, it's just insane.
So
I'd rather go find blogs and try to pitch an insert instead of getting, you know, I'd rather pay for $20, get a link on a site that already has juice and traffic coming to it, you know? So I think that's usually the better way to go, in my opinion. Yeah. And I don't think PBN is really black hat. I think that's more gray hat, you know? When I'm thinking black hat, I'm thinking like Go Buster, trying to get into the PHP. Like I think my idea of black hat is completely a lot farther away than a PBN, you know?
Yeah. I mean, there's also a PBN and a PBN. There's lots of guys out there who set up PBNs, which are just, you know, grabbing an expired domain name. They don't really look after it. The metrics are starting to slip, and it's just a piece of shit. Right. All on a shared hosting account or whatever. And they're all, you know, interlinking all of this kind of stuff, and it just looks like garbage. That's not a PBN, that's a public block network, and that is likely to get you banned. And it's those guys that say PBNs don't work. So, yeah, just be aware of that, guys. But, yeah, onwards and upwards to the next question. Could you share what type of strategy you will use first? So I think this was a guy I was talking to earlier in the chat when I think he was more concerned about his money website being hit. And obviously I said that's why people use PBNs or a tiered link building structure to do that. So Chris, can you tell us just a bit about how you would structure it? Just a basic structure, what you would do there.
Well, anything other than an authority link, I would never point directly at my site, right? So as far as tiering, I would generally use some type of, I like name brand Web 2s. And then as far as powering those up, I like to use specifically, because they're cheap, they're easy to get, link inserts, niche edits. And I like all different types of niche edits because you can get some really powerful links for dirt cheap. I mean, that's as far as the tiering goes. I like to just put an in-between from my affiliate site and have an in-between and power up that. That's it. Unless I'm getting a 301, or unless I'm building out, like say I buy a expired domain, and on an internal page, I do a JavaScript redirect, and then I just send links to the homepage, which works very well. Because a lot of people, what they'll do is 301 the whole site, but there's a lot of pages on a site that are powerful, and you can just 301 that one page. So that's what I generally will lean towards.
Do you actually use any automation at all, like SEO autopilot or anything like that to power anything up?
Yeah, I mean, I like old school stuff. I still use GSA. Generally what I'll do is I'll go on those, like say Fiverr, and those guys for $5 will show you their whole list, you know. So here's a million links. Oh, hey, thanks for the list for $5. And now I can go through and cherry pick the links that I actually want to use.
Yeah.
You know,
oh, that's interesting. So rather than you using these softwares yourself, it's just gigs you're buying from Fiverr or 5 Squid or one of those kind of websites.
Well, no, I have GSA as well, but generally say I'm going to power up like a second tier, they'll give you their whole link list, and then I can use that inside my GSA, you know?
Yeah.
They'll give you the CSV file. They'll say to prove their links, you know? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So here's 1 million from this guy, here's 500 from this guy, and then I can just go through niche specific, authority, how many outbounds. You see what I'm saying? They're giving me all the work for free instead of me doing it, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's all about delegation, man.
Well, time, my time.
Yeah, that's it. There's only so many hours in a day and so much things to do. So, yeah. Inder Deep Singh. Hi, do backlinks from irrelevant niche sites really hurt SEO?
In my opinion, topical relevance is completely irrelevant for passing power. However, like I talk to people on my channel, if you want a future proof or you're working obviously for a client, I would go for topical relevance and relevance. But as far as passing power, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'll make a link.
What about an irrelevant website, Chris, that the content or the guest post or whatever's on there is totally relevant? So say it was a hotel website, for example, and I was a plumber. Would it be okay for me to get a link on the hotel website talking about, you know, we do the plumbing for that hotel? Would that make it more relevant?
If I could get the right anchor back to the site, I mean, obviously, it depends on the authority of that site and what's the anchor coming in. You know, for future proofing, I probably wouldn't go that route, but a link's a link, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, a link's a link, and it, as long as it carries a bit of power, it's all good. Mandy Shea Williams, thoughts on duplicate content. We run a vacation rental business. Our listings are listed on our own site and descriptions, but then they're pushed to a ton of other rental channels. What's your thoughts on that? I mean, I've got my own thoughts, but I'll go after you.
Yeah, I mean, if they're using your content and you're first, I don't see anything wrong with that. They're using your content. I really don't think that duplicate content's an issue until you're duplicating your own on site, and then there's something called keyword cannibalization. That's when there's a trouble with duplicate content, because then your content's fighting with one another. Other than that, I don't see any. Who cares?
No, I mean, I've seen many similar businesses who, you know, they've got their own website, but they use booking.com and a whole bunch of other places. And as long as your website's been crawled and indexed first, you know, it's not going to harm you whatsoever. Plus, I think Google's probably clever enough to realize that, you know, what's going on there. It's not something I would be too worried about at all. But yeah,
I get that a lot though. Duplicate content, because all the mainstream guys are pitching about it. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, doesn't matter really.
Just a couple of hellos, Louis.
Hello.
Mike Coburn, thank you for joining us. Harry Peters, what are the pros and cons of buying links on existing blogs versus paying for a guest post?
That's the exact pro of buying a link on an existing blog, is it already has accrued other links and traffic, and a guest post, it's going to be fresh. And now with these new rules, a lot of these links are at the bottom. It'll state that it's a guest post. I want something that's already active, has a good anchor, already getting traffic, and already has links. So I would always pay more for an existing blog insert over a fresh guest post. Always.
Interesting. No, I think it makes sense. Something that's already got power. Why not pay a little bit more for it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Comedy Viral, does comment and profile backlinks work?
I think there's a place for comment links, as far as maybe if you want to, you know, if you're looking at your backlink profile and the anchors coming in, and maybe it's all do follows, I don't have any no follows. I think there's two places for comments. One is to accrue a bunch of no follow links, and two, if they're niche specific and they could potentially get you traffic, there's value there. But I'm not going to spend my time dropping comment links. It's a waste of time, really.
Yeah, I think quality over quantity. I think that kind of thing has sailed.
I'm sorry.
No,
and profiles, you know, unless it's edu and .gov, and I can push more links to it, I don't go for it. Those two types of specific profile links are what I go for.
Yeah.
.gov.edu. Other than that, a waste. Sorry to cut you off, Craig.
No worries at all.
I was watching the video last time. I was like, oh man, you gotta stop doing that, Chris.
Go fusing. Is there a way to protect our site from competitors registering low quality backlinks to us?
Well, why are we so concerned with others doing work for us? Unless you are impacted negatively, I let them do whatever they want. They want to build links, they want to whatever. I don't see anything wrong with them. Why are you protecting yourself against them doing you a benefit? In my opinion.
I think as someone who's ended up with a partial penalty for someone doing that to one of my websites, what I would say is keep an eye on it. Someone literally blasted me for 18 months before I got a partial penalty. But they probably done me a hell of a lot of favours in that time as well. Right. And I was able to get rid of the partial penalty very quickly by going to a chap called Rick Lomas, who does a disavow and cleans that shit up. But yeah, don't worry too much about what people are doing to you. It might not even be people. It may be scraping websites. It may whatever. But unless it's in serious volume, I wouldn't worry too much about it just now, because even those crappy links might pass you some form of value in some way. So yeah, keep an eye on it though. It's obviously something worth. Every situation is different. I ended up with a partial penalty because I left it. But I don't really think there's any point in attacking it. I just wouldn't give someone the satisfaction of doing that. Just concentrate my own efforts. Yeah, so all good.
And you still get that power. Even after the disavow, you still noticed a little bit of a power for maybe another 2 months, 3 months, right?
Yeah.
And penalties are page by page, you know? So if you have to burn down a page, you know, but you still receive all that benefit, who cares, you know? But I agree with you, Craig.
Nah, yeah, each to their own. But yeah, I would fully focus on your own efforts. Guys, if you are enjoying the chat here, we've still got a long time to go. Just give us a little like on the video. It'd be much appreciated. Next question, Ayari Delice. Nice name. Not sure where you're from, but quite a cool name. Sounds pretty Italian, but I'm probably totally wrong. Can you talk about buying expired domain names to make 301 redirects to your websites? Do the backlinks transfer to your website? What is the best criteria for selecting expired domain names? Is it DR? What are you using, Chris?
Well, I try to make sure what I've found so far is I try to make sure that they're at least getting some traffic. When I'm looking at links, I'm looking at referring domains. Now, you will notice in Search Console, you will see an influx of links show up. But primarily I'm looking, does it still have traffic, and how many referring domains? Those are the two I'm looking for. And just because all of your measures match up, it's not spammy, it's getting traffic, it has referring domains out the wazoo, it's topically relevant, you could still 301 redirect it and not see the jump that you're looking for. So I would just, that's my best advice, yeah.
I'm going to ask another additional question onto that. Now, in terms of buying expired domain names, what do you do, like the kind of percentage split? Do you just simply redirect them? Do you build websites out on them? You know, what are you doing before you then do the 301 redirect? Are you repopulating the website so that you're testing to see if the ranks come back and the traffic comes back? Or do you just grab it and do a 301 redirect and hope for the best?
A lot of the times when I'm getting it, just to see if the site is going to be good and worth 301 redirecting, what I'll see is I'll take a look at the way back, and you'll look at the titles and the pages, and you should be able to launch a fresh page from an old existing title. And if it instantly ranks, you know, second page, then you know you probably have a good domain. That's one check and one tip that I would definitely go about using. Yeah,
but in terms of 301 redirects, are you doing that often, or do you more build out PBNs?
I Generally, I'd say it's a 50-50 split. 50-50 split.
Yeah, because I don't do a whole bunch of 301s, to be honest. I know lots of people make that part of a strategy as such. I don't do that a whole bunch of times. If I can, I'll make it an affiliate website or something like that, and kind of do it that way. But yeah, interesting. I was curious to know what
you. A lot of RDs, and I got it cheap. I like to send them to second tier properties a lot of times. If I could get that's a $12 powerful link, really, at the end of the day. So
yeah,
can't get that anywhere else.
Mike Coburn, what are the best engines to use on GSA Search Engine Ranker to power tiers which remain live the longest?
What do you mean by engines?
I'm assuming he's talking about when you can talk about different search engines. You can obviously get links from like Google, in Zimbabwe or whatever. I'm assuming that can be the only.
To be 100% honest, like I mentioned, as far as getting the links, I'll always go out, buy the $5 package. They'll send me the proof, and I upload that CSV file. And then I've gotten a template from one of the forums, a GSA forum template. I upload the template, upload the CSV, and blast off. I mean, that's as simple and as fast as I do it.
So you're not using the crap that's on GSA itself. You're uploading a
preset template.
There are a whole bunch of other websites as well that do sell different lists and stuff like that, so that you're not sending your links to the same crap that everyone else has been doing before as well. I think a lot of people just fire up GSA and press start, stick in what they have to stick in and off the pop. That doesn't work as effectively, in my opinion. What you're doing, Chris, obviously getting a unique list or a different list is definitely the way to go.
I've bought AA lists before. I've bought tons of lists, but I've just found there's so many providers and they're doing all the scraping. There's a lot of Chinese providers that have massive million lists and a lot of, you know what I mean? And I'm only paying $5. That's a free auto-proof list right there. So, well, $5 is free basically.
Yeah, and they're all fighting with each other to try and figure out who's got the best list and offers the most value. So they're getting more Fiverr sales. So why not take advantage of that? Is a great way to use GSA. Hope that helps, Mike. James Moore, do you know anyone killing it with Clickbank offers?
I don't know anybody that's killing it with Clickbank. I mean, I've played with Clickbank in the very, very beginning, but I look for many other opportunities other than Clickbank. A lot lately has been with mobile offers. I'm not very familiar with Clickbank myself, but I don't know anybody that's really making a lot, 10 grand a week or anything like that off of Clickbank.
Yeah, I'm not sure myself. I've kind of always avoided Clickbank, so to speak, and stuck to kind of private stuff and SaaS tools and various others. But I'm sure there is someone doing really well with Clickbank. There's surely enough volume and stuff there. I hear people talking about it all the time, but sadly we can't help you with that one. Holly Starks is here. Hello, Holly. Absolute legend on all things Black Hats. Don't want to say too much more, but yeah, Holly's a very, very good person, and I will be doing something with Holly very soon, just so you guys know. Thomas Oldham, enjoy. Cheers, man. Someone's having a beer. Facebook user, truly private PBN homepage links can provide some good permanent juice. In their opinion, that's cool. Just going through here. Oops. I just scrolled a wee down. There's a lot of questions here.
Yeah, PBN is more gray hat.
Pull those links all day with Xroomer. A good old-fashioned tool here as well. Mixmaster, please discuss the top 5 black hat SEO method. Now, I'm going to take away the top 5 part, and I'm going to twist this question so that we get a bit more value, so to speak. Give us your best, not your best, but one of your best link building black hat methods. What's the dirty? It doesn't even have to be your own. It can be something that someone else has shared. What is the dirtiest, baddest thing you've seen?
Well, there's a lot of tools. I mean, I would never use these tools, you know, but tools like GoBuster, primarily, you're basically looking for ports that are open so you can place links on sites. I mean, that's the dirtiest that I've ever seen in my whole entire life.
What, and there's a tool, GoBuster, that actually allows you to find those?
Yeah, GoBuster's a penetration tool. There's also DevBuster. I mean, there's multiple tools that we have. I mean, there's a system. I'm sure you've used Linux, Kali.
Yeah.
And then you could just go right to the Git repository, and there's multiple penetration tools that you can utilize to basically search for ports, any vulnerabilities within PHP code. You'll notice within your server logs, you see that all the time. People probing your contact forms. And I mean, guys are just sitting out there waiting for an opening on any site to put a link or a JavaScript link or any type of redirect. I see it every day.
Cool. So illegally placing links on other people's websites is pretty dirty. I'm not sure you can get much dirtier than that. To be honest.
Dirtiest, yeah, you asked for it.
Craig Mullins is asking, what is your YouTube channels? Now, you can find Chris on Facebook by searching for his name. He's got a cartoon head. But what about your YouTube channel? Is that something you can, in fact, let me try and find the link just now.
Yep. Well, my YouTube channel is Chris Palmer SEO. And then I have a private Facebook group. It's facebook.com/groups Chris Palmer SEO.
I will get you the link right now for Chris's YouTube and just put it in the chat.
Thanks, Craig. I don't have the YouTube open because it was slowing me.
Slow down. Nah, we don't want you cutting off again.
No. I have apartments up here that we have, so it's
right, cool. I have just popped Chris's YouTube channel in the chat as well if you want to see some of the stuff that he is doing. Craig Mullins loves the vacation rental business. Thank you. I agree that Google is clever enough.
But don't give him too much credit, though. I mean,
no,
a lot of, yeah.
Nick B, yes, this will be available to watch anytime after the webinar is on. You can watch it as many times as you like or whatever. Agaz, if we write an article and only do on-page SEO,
absolutely,
is it possible we can get ranked? Yeah.
You can rank with just on-page, but you cannot only rank with just links. Not like it used to be. You know, not that I have seen, not like it used to be. I would assume when your on-page is on point, you'll rank almost on page 2, and then you can start your link building campaigns from there. If you're not on page 2 yet, your on-page isn't right. Yeah,
no, I would agree. But it depends on the competition. I'd probably say page 3 if it's something really
fair enough, right?
But, you know, that's just a tedious argument. But don't be too harsh on yourself. If you get to the top 3, you're probably doing some good stuff.
As SEOs, though, we are hard. Where it's like a competition with everyone and yourself. You know, it's like, oh, man, maybe I could do this and that. So,
but that's just keep competing. Yeah, be harsh on yourself,
and it's fun.
But yeah, on-page SEO does very well, as does technical, as does link building. Don't forget, don't focus on one. You know, because the weight factor to any given one can change at any time, and
I think you save money when your on page is proper. I think you just save money on your overall link building. It seems like, anyway.
Yeah, the way I see it is it's a box ticking exercise, and the more of those kind of box ticking exercises you can do to get yourself further up onto the bottom end of page 1 or top end of page 2 with on-page or whatever you're doing, internal links and all of that stuff, then, as you say, you might only need 10, 15 links to, or, 5, just throw 5 at it and see what happens. So, yeah. But next, COD, as you mentioned, GSA, how many links do you build to one existing link at once? Do you repeat the process for the same link, for example, 2 weeks after?
I absolutely would. I mean, I generally, if I'm pointing links at a particular tier 2 property, if I don't see any fluctuation within that property itself, then I just keep building links. I look for a jump within that property as well. So
how many would you blast though? So say it's GSA and you're just testing it out. You've done what you've done. You've done all your on page and whatever, or you've bought a guest post or whatever it's going to be. How many do you fire at it in the first instance before you check for fluctuations? Is it 100? Is it 1,000?
1,000. It depends on the list that I have, but usually 1,000. The whole list.
Yeah. And then if that 1,000's not moved the needle, do you go back and maybe do another 2,000, or what's it work?
I would just continue. I mean, if I'm not seeing any fluctuation, then obviously either the list is bad or I need to point more links at it. I mean, I would just continue it. It is a week by week basis though.
Yeah. So just the same thing, rinse and repeat. There's no increase in volume or anything like that.
Not for me. I mean, generally the lists that I have for second tier properties, I use the whole list. And then I'll usually just wait a week, 2 weeks, and then I just keep going, repeat.
Cool. Interesting. Deep Sing, another question. Does backlink from exact keyword anchor hurt, as I created 30 to 50 exact match anchor backlinks for one of my websites and it ranks in number 1, but people are saying that hurts SEO?
Does it? I mean, I mean, I don't see if you're winning right now, that's great. But I mean, I don't think for long term that's the way to go. I think that you need to see and analyze your competition for the top ranking positions. I would mimic what they're doing first for longevity. But hey, if you're winning by performing that, then you're obviously doing something right, or you are setting the standard for that query.
Yeah. But yeah, proof's there. It works just now for the short term, and people that are saying it doesn't are probably people that don't rank for the same search term. So, but as Chris says, I think future-proofing your website and trying to mix things up and sustain that for the long term is essentially what you want to do. So maybe be less aggressive going forward and just try and maintain what you've got. Lucas Fedor, are you still using automated tools for tier 2, for example? So Lucas, we have spoke about GSA, SEO Autopilot. There's a whole bunch of automated tools that people are using for tier 2. And Chris has just mentioned that he regularly still uses GSA and buys lists from Fiverr. So yeah, hopefully that answers that one. My good friend Azzedine Dijid, or the Algerian Canadian, as I call him, because I'm not trying to say that name again. Building a site on an expired auction domain, do you build it first on the expired domain name, then redirect all the pages to the new branded domain, or do a 301 to the home page of the new domain right away?
I've done both. I mean, I've done it server side, at hosting side, and 301 the whole thing. And then I've also rebuilt the site page for page exactly how it was, and then just place links. I've done it both ways. I've also built out the site and then 301 internal pages instead of, and then sent links to the homepage. I've done it all those different ways. I've tried all different kinds of stuff just to see, and some stuff might work now and not later, and then vice versa.
If you were pushed to say which one of those worked the best, what would you say right now?
What do I feel is better? I think that 301ing it right from the hosting for that initial boost probably would be the best. Cool. If you know that it's good to go.
Yeah.
I don't know how you would know that.
Guesswork. Just do what we all do. Just shoot some shit and see if it works.
Let it fly and see if it works.
Mixmaster, what expired domain gives more benefit, more DR or more DA? I'm not too sure what you mean by that.
Ahrefs or Moz? I mean, to me, these tools are a trust metric. Which tool do you like the best, right? Is that what you're asking me? Which one do I trust more, DR or DA? Is that the question?
Let's go for that. We'll assume that's what the question is.
I think, and that's like one of those SEO debates. I mean, I was a longtime Majestic user. I like Majestic. I like them all. I mean, it's whatever the client's paying for, that's what I'll use.
Good answer. Good answer. Miguel Salcido, another cool name. What is your favorite link building technique outside of guest posting and PBN links? And
my favorite is always link inserts and niche edits, or basically the same thing. I think they're the most affordable. They're already getting traffic and they have the highest power. The long story short is they're the cheapest. They're the cheapest and they're powerful. Unless you can get a link rental. I really like rentals. You know, but as far as somebody just going out and being able to buy it, the niche edits. Yeah.
If you got any good vendors you can recommend for that, or is that something that's kept hush hush? Or
I can't recommend vendors. No.
no comment.
No comment.
Fair enough. I guess I want to learn SEO from this guy. I can understand Urdu. I cannot understand English, so I need your suggestions on how much of SEO I need to learn on page or off page. If you can't understand English, we're going to be in trouble here trying to help you. But there's a whole bunch of different courses in different languages. I would suggest using the one that you understand the best as a base to work from, and then yeah, we'll see what happens.
I know one. You know what I do? I have a public link rental vendor that I've used before, and he's public about it. But I would message him for other links, and the name of his is T Ranks. You know, I have no affiliation or anything. I'm just saying I've used that before, and he has rentals, and they are very high quality, and he's very public about it. So take that as you will. He's public about it.
Question from Javid. What are some of the things you need to do to get your SERP listed above the free map pack?
I would always focus on getting traffic and clicks and phone calls to the listing. Once you can do that in any way you possibly can, regardless of how, it doesn't matter. Once you take care of the traffic, the clicks, and you're getting phone calls from localized IPs, you'll move up. And don't send links to your listing, please.
Stop. Now, before I put up the next question, I'm literally going to be 20 seconds. I'm just going to grab another beer because it's going down really well. Nice. But I'm going to put you in the spot here, Chris.
Sure.
Holly Starks, who we all know and love, is asking, what is your best black hat tip that is not negative SEO, like a real golden tip? Give us something good. It has to be good because Holly, she's not expecting some crappy white hat answer here. You're on the spot. So I'm going to get this beer and I'm listening.
I mean, the only public tip that I've shared was the that's a black hat tip was for the Google My Business. You know, as far as uploading and getting multiple locations. That's the only one that I would want to share publicly. Holly as my best black hat tip.
Listen, we get that. Don't want to share too much. Can get yourself into bother.
I mean, I did start sharing a little bit of the, you know, the mobile stuff, but I didn't want to get too much into that. I just did a quick video on some of the applications.
Interesting.
No one wants to share too much. Too many deep tips here.
Mike Coburn, articles or directories?
Articles.
Yeah.
Why not?
Agias, do you hire an article writer or write yourself? Let's hear what you're saying to that, Chris. Surely you're not writing your own articles.
Never. I mean, obviously, My site's just an email form, but for any affiliate sites, I would pay. I would always hire out because I'm a horrible writer.
Cool.
It's just draining and time consuming.
And Holly Starks is saying, Exrumer can pull those GSA links all day long. Holly is a legend of the Black Hat game, so also have a look at Exrumer. I would always be looking to take more than one person's tips as well and see which one works for you. So have a look at that.
I would take her advice as good advice.
Yeah. Comedy Viral, Chris, sir, please reply to my email.
Comedy Viral. Sure. It's always better to go on WhatsApp, 1-570-550-1912. Text message me. It's my work line. It's the best way to get in touch with me. Please.
I'll remember that. James Moore. So on the Clickbank stuff, Holly Starks knows people who are making big bucks on there. So just send Holly a message and she will be able to advise you further. Just making sure everyone gets some value here. Let me, I've just scrolled. Someone's saying they can't understand a word I'm saying, so we'll ignore that. Chris Palmer, right? So, La Taloche, what is the best way to protect a website from being scraped or trying to reduce it?
I mean, you can add a bunch of stuff to your robots or the HTA, but other than that, I mean, it's a public domain. Maybe Craig has some more on that. I don't see anything wrong.
The problem you've got with trying to reduce your website from being scraped is how far do you go from not allowing bots and whatnot to get onto your website? And obviously, the main one being Google has to get onto your website. You can block other stuff from being on your website, but why? Why would you be concerned about that? If someone wants to scrape up some of my shit and
go for it,
publish it, give me some more credibility online, fill your boots. COD, how often do you refresh content on PBNs?
Some of the vendors that I've dealt with are publishing content consistently, just like normal blogs. I mean, they literally treat them like they're regular websites. They're getting traffic. They're not blocking bots. It just seems like a regular link on a regular site. It's consistent, just like a regular site. You would never even know.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. For the PBNs that I have, which I don't really call PBNs as such, they're just website assets. Correct. They do have dedicated time, and whether that's 5 or 10 blog posts a month really determines on how much revenue I get from that website. But they are treated like I would treat any other website that I own. So yeah.
And I feel too, especially if in the affiliate and building links, at some point, the PBNs and the Web 2s and the tiers, eventually, if you're trying to sell that site or, trade it to somebody, whatever you're doing, you have to strip away those links because it's only worth less, it seems like. So,
yeah.
So,
a question: what is the one thing you have done which helped get your knowledge panel to show up? Add schema.
Schema's good. I think just having proper on page, having all of the schema, the OG data, basically the schema and the micro data is really very, very helpful. But I think just having the correlation and all of your on page on point is going to help you out. Yeah.
Troy Dowden, is there a fast way to generate a lot of referral domain names?
Yeah, 301s.
Yep, just make sure you buy a bunch with a whole bunch of referring domain names. Plenty out there. Just be careful that they're not toxic and have been burnt to death by someone like Chris in the past. I'm only joking about Chris, by the way, just in case anyone takes that serious. But yeah, just be careful. Is there any way to get back my disabled AdSense account?
I don't know.
Why is it disabled? I think
not for that site.
Yeah, what happens when you fuck Google up or you get banned or whatever the hell you're doing? Very rarely is there a way back. I think you just have to get over it, set up a new AdSense account and go for it again. I don't think they're, obviously you get banned for a reason, breaching their terms. They're not really going to trust you again. And I think the problem you've got, because it's such a big company, you can't talk to someone direct. If it was a mistake, you're just fucked, basically. So,
and you know what you did.
Yeah, you know what you did.
People pretend like they don't. You know what you did.
How to get out of the sandbox fast? Do you even believe in the sandbox, Chris?
I think that there is a transitional period, but I think there is a sandbox, yes. I do feel, maybe not, I can't put a time on it, but I do feel that there is a trust sandbox, that it does take some time. And I also feel that there's like a transitional time to, once your site is aged, you've built the proper amount of links, your site is large enough. I do feel that then every page that you're building seems to rank. So I think there's two types of sandboxes, if for lack of better words.
I mean, I think what I would say to anyone who asks that question, if you're building a new website and you're mapping out your content, getting the content on there and fixing all your on page and then your internal links, it's going to take 2 or 3 months to really smash that shit out. I wouldn't be sitting there concerning myself how long does it take to get out of a sandbox, because no one knows whether it's 3 months, 6 months, whatever it's going to be. But just by getting your website designed, creating your content marketing strategy and getting all of that stuff put together, getting your on-page done, you should probably be starting to build. And, in that time, you've built citations and all that shit, got your GMB, you're getting traffic, all of that stuff, and you should be good to go from there. So I wouldn't really worry about, sandboxes or how long it takes. Just follow your processes. And as I say, no one can really throw out a good website really much quicker than, a couple of months from, doing everything properly.
Right.
So that would be it. Ruminigo Fernandez, what's your strategy for a new affiliate website? It's not really link building, but have you got a strategy there?
At all cost, I would try to start with an age domain. So age is definitely going to be a factor. Have people write your content for you. I would take care of all the technical side, start with an age domain, and try to get traffic to that site as soon as possible. That would be my best advice.
So, guys, we have 12 minutes left. Make sure you like the video. But what I would say is I'm only at 5:33 in terms of the questions and time. So if there's any further questions from now, can you please drop them in the comments under the video? And I'll go through and Chris may go through and answer the most relevant ones as well, because we're not going to be able to do much more in terms of the way we're going on the live chat. Everything that's been in there, I'll try and get through as many as I can. But any other questions from now, please put in the comments and we will answer them after the show.
That's a long answer for that question right there. I just gave it very quick. A very long answer. What's the process to start an affiliate site? I mean, that's it's the whole thing. That's what.
Comedy Viral, another question. Does DAPA matter in ranking? If the competitor has 0 backlinks on a post and I have more links, but no huge DAPA?
I don't think DAPA matters at all. I mean, and no, I don't think it matters at all. I do think that the on-page doesn't need to be quality content, but your on-page needs to be on point, and you still need to have quality off-page signals coming in. And you still have to remember, Google might just reward that particular site that you're up against. I've seen sites that completely suck, and you're wondering, why are they ranking? Could just be, right?
Yeah.
Or something they're doing. Who knows? But yeah, I don't think it matters. No.
Nah, I wouldn't be too fussed on those metrics.
No.
Maria is asking, how do you check if the backlink you've created passed some kind of juice to the money website?
I mean, it's hard to say, but not any just one link is going to. People think that they buy 1 link or 2 links, you're going to see that shoot up. I would just think if you're starting to see a slight increase in rankings over time, but not just from 1 link. But I would say that if over the course of time you're starting to see an increase in traffic and rankings, then the links that you're building are passing power.
Yeah. No, good answer. Cal Petkoff, do you use SEO links?
I have in the past. I've tried to get away from them, especially now with other ways to get links, like we talked about before, that may be very dirty, but they're a lot cheaper, they're a lot easier and faster, and they're way more powerful.
Interesting. I still use
and I like USA links. Sorry.
Hafiz, you're both my favorite.
Awesome.
Thank you.
That's great.
Nitesh, thank you for this AUA. How is multiple good reviewed backlink services available? How is multiple good reviewed backlink services available in Black Hat World? I mean, personally, there's some good and bad stuff in Black Hat World. You need to be very careful, do research, because I've got a lot of good tips from Black Hat World in the past, but there's a lot of shit on there as well. It's like finding a needle in a haystack, so be careful.
Sell services.
Yeah. But yeah, just be careful. That's all I would say.
Very, very.
Nick B, would you recommend using Mafia tactics to force someone to give you a backlink, like putting C4 on their testing?
It depends on the link. You know, I mean, you could step to that if you wanted to, but that's up to you and your tactics.
I think, Nick, playing in the naive and vulnerable and tricking people often works better than using that. But yeah, if the link's worth it, then yeah, why not put a bit of C4 under someone's balls and you
never trick anybody who didn't let you. So if they're going to give it to you, it's their own fault.
Yeah. How should I rank my GMB listing through Black Hat? Just do citations, mate. Blast the life out of citations, and you'll be good to go. You don't really need Black Hat anything for GMB listings, to be honest with you. Just a bit of stuff that everyone talks about in terms of GMB, but citation, not links. No, you don't really need any real trickery as such. And yeah, what about you, Chris? Would you recommend anything else?
Traffic and clicks to your listing.
Yeah, click-through rate. There's stuff like that.
That's the key.
I'm going to ask you a quick question, Chris, on click-through rate. So I'm playing about with click-through rate for different things, and I've got this tool, CTR Booster, which I can't seem to get working properly. When I set it up, I've got my proxies in, I've got all this shit in, but it's not doing the job it's supposed to. What are you using for click-through rate?
I've been seeing that a lot with these tools. Like I've had Supreme Traffic and Pan. I mean, I've played with all of them. I've noticed with the tools that you can go and get, they'll seem like you'll get a boost, or you'll seem like things are working, but then it seems like it's not. A lot of the times, I like platforms like Microworkers. I like to put in jobs on there.
What about MTurk? Would you recommend that?
What's that?
MTurk? You know,
no, Mechanical Turk.
Yeah.
I don't like them because a lot of their policies, I'd rather use Microworkers.
Yeah. Oh, fair enough. Holly Starks. You said your what number on a webinar with Holly Starks involved. God knows what's going to happen to that work number now, Chris. That's getting burnt. Inderdeep Singh, my client wants to redesign a website due to some reasons. Will I have to change the URLs as well? Will the rankings recover after a 301 redirect in 2 or 3 months? Or are they going to lose everything? Is there a risk?
Yeah, there is a risk, but I don't think you'll lose everything. But there's always a risk. So I think there's always a risk, but no, you're not going to lose everything, and it will restore after some time. So I wouldn't worry too much.
Yeah, any experience I've had with that, there has been a slight dip for several months by the time Google figures shit out and stuff like that, but it does come back 9 times out of 10 unless you've fucked something else up. But yeah, there is a risk, and you will be under a bit of pressure. It's not fun. Sandeep Dutta, I don't understand the concept of citation. citation means what? Listing your NAP in business listing websites, or just anywhere on the web, like blog comments?
Well, that's two. You're talking about two different types of citations: unstructured and structured citations. Structured citation is like Yelp and all of those platforms. And unstructured would be just leaving your NAP in, say, a blog comment. I think they're both crawled and they both have a benefit, but primarily you want to shoot for structured citations that are do follow and niche specific, and primarily the ones that your competition have. So that's
I think structured is more trusted, and obviously Yelp and all of these other big websites out there have massive power and authority. You know, if you're just going to bash it out on blog comments or whatever, I'm not sure it would have the same level of impact as such, because I think Google are looking to see if your business is listed on the top directories to see if you are essentially a real business, and that's the trick you're trying to play there. So hopefully that answers. Gonzalo Olmedo, do you recommend any guest post service that actually does guest posting, or at least tell us which companies to stay away from? Gonzalo, we don't want to sit and dismiss anyone's company. It's not the purpose of us being here. But we do have things like linksforyou.com, getmelinks.com are two vendors that I can highly recommend for guest posts, and they do outreach. They use Pitchbox. They've got a bunch of VAs who are constantly building a list. But if you're going to want bespoke, exact, guest post done yourself, you might be better hiring a VA and giving them a process to use and do the outreach for you, because most link vendors, if they've got access to 100 websites that fit your niche, why would they do outreach when they've already got 100 websites sitting there that they can get guest posts on? So that's the problem you've got. I think obviously some people are, using the same old websites or whatever, but as I say, the ones that I can recommend there, they do regular, and the inventory is always kept fresh, so they are good. If you get any recommendations there?
I've used Outreach Mama, but they're really expensive, but it's just a massive list, and I wouldn't say that it's always fresh. I think that that's the best way to go, depending on the niche, see what the competitors have, and then just build an outreach campaign from there. I think that's the best way to regulate and get the best links that are already being rewarded. So perfect. Mike Coburn, what kind of links do you send to Google Properties to power up a stack? Everything, anything you can get, the cheapest links possible, dollar PBNs, whatever you can that just eats it, and there's no spam. I mean, it just filters it. So whatever you want. Yeah.
Next question. I literally need to answer the door, but there's the next question. I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Have any course Black Hat SEO Chris Palmer have any change open free or discount? I don't do courses. I only do training. And the only type of training that I have is I teach Google Stacks, and have a training coming up for GMB verifications. That's it. And it's live, and I already have the maximum amount of people.
Perfect. Abish Kesh, if memory serves me right, I mentioned Kyle Roof mentioned that you can get away with 51% original content to pass duplicate filter in the SERPs. What's your thoughts on that?
We talked about that last time. To give a precise number, it's very simple to figure out when it's either omitted or it's not. What percentage does the omitted from search results go away? So if 51, 60%, 55%, but if Kyle Roof, he does testing. So if that's his number, then I might go stand by that.
Yeah, no, Kyle's certainly one that I would be having a listen to as well, and yeah, someone I massively respect. Lou Cypher, which stims exactly is Chris on? I think that's his real Black Hat secret. He's just an excitable guy.
What's a stim? What is that? Is that a slang?
It's probably just the monster juice
all day. Yeah,
he's just crazy in general. We all are.
I am. Yeah, that's right.
crazy and excitable. Even before the webinar and stuff, he's like fired up for it, ready to go. So yeah, it's not bullshit just for the webinar. Right, you wanted to know this as well. Gift store, we answered that one. Nick B, has Amazon lowering their affiliate payouts affected your bottom line much?
I try to steer clear of Amazon, just because the type of practices that we might, deploy aren't generally within their guidelines, and plus they don't really pay much. So I don't mess around with Amazon that much at all.
Nick, I had a couple of websites which I sold on, one a week before they cut their commissions and one the day after. The cost of it in terms of me being able to get content, links and everything else just wasn't going to make it feasible at that point. So it would have affected me, but Amazon was just something I was playing around with, to be honest. I think putting your eggs all in one basket's madness, especially with someone like Amazon who are quite happy to pull the plug in the middle of a coronavirus, which is absolutely shocking. But hopefully guys can work their way around it, go to private affiliates and just change the monetization model and come out of it and just give a big fuck you to Amazon. So someone's asking from Facebook, what is this link rental company you mentioned? You said something like T-Rank, but they can't find it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's you should be able to find it without any trouble. And I don't work with them. I'm just saying I have used them in the past. I'm not recommending them. If you want to try them out, they offer rentals. And at the time that I was using it, it was very effective and price effective as well. But they are public. T-Ranks, add an S on the end there.
Yeah, perfect. So we nearly are out of time. We will answer one more question and then we'll let people get back to their normal things. But just make sure you do like the video so that we can see if it's worth doing any more going forwards, which I'm sure we will. Greetings from Vancouver. I have some competitors ranking very high on best plus product. Is it fine to buy £20 guest posts to rank my best plus product article URLs?
What are they using? I mean, I'm sure you've done analysis of not only their site, but the other rankers that are above you. I would take a look and see what they're using. I mean, if that's being favored in the SERP, I would really take a deep look at what they're using first before I implement any type of strategy. So see what's being rewarded first.
Yeah, no, that's perfect.
And $20 links, hey.
But sadly, guys, we are out of time. If you do have any further questions, please put them in the comments and I will make sure that I answer any good, solid link building questions. We will come back hopefully next week. Chris, are you up for doing another one?
Absolutely. With you, sure.
Yeah, so we'll do another one on another topic. I'll discuss with Chris just later on what topic we want to cover next week, and we will be back at the same time next week. As long as people are getting value from it, then we're more than happy to come on and show you guys stuff. So thank you everyone who came. Please make sure that you do go and also give Chris's YouTube channel a watch, a subscribe, a like. There's a lot of good stuff on there. Chris is rolling out videos on a regular basis, and as someone else suggested, he's got good energy, enthusiastic, and yeah, you can't help but learn from someone like that. So yeah, thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
I will repost Chris's YouTube link just in the chat right now in case you missed it before.
Thank you, Craig.
And we will see you all next week. Thank you very much, everyone. Cheers, Chris, to you as well.
Have a good one, Craig.